Spurge here, and in this video we are going to break down the Merlin Shenstone D3O gloves. So really this is aimed at 2 to 3 season functionality for more of a V-twin and cafe inspired audience. So think spring, summer, and into the fall. A lot of mesh on the back of this. It's going to breathe a ton of air, perforation to the leather, and D3O knuckle protection. So you're getting knuckle protection, but more of a subdued design with this. Again, really aimed at more of that classic V-twin and cafe audience. Now, from a sizing standpoint, sizes will range from a small up to a 3XL. Using Merlin's size chart, measured my hands, 9.5 inches, said I should be in an extra large. I am wearing the extra large. Typically I'd be in like a 2XL. So I actually pulled the 2XL to try it. Definitely too big, too bulky with that. So use what the size chart recommends. If you find yourself between two sizes, would definitely recommend sizing down. These are going to be more of a relaxed fit to this. Now, from a construction standpoint, this is going to be a cowhide and mesh construction. And the real note here is that typically the reason we see like goat skin or even something like a stingray on some of the more sophisticated gloves from a technical standpoint is they feel less bulky. Merlin went with a cowhide. It's not bad from an overall comfort standpoint, but you do feel the bulk a bit in the fingers, especially because they went with the external stitching on here, trying to give it more of a high quality feel. The problem is with that cowhide in there, it just does feel a bit bulky. Now, if you're coming from the V-twin side of things where you're typically throwing a work glove on there, this is going to feel a lot more supple than that. But just keep in mind that if you're comparing this to something a bit more technical and a bit more sporty, that's where that cowhide is going to feel the bulk by comparison. Working your way down the back of the hand, like I said, a lot of breathability with the mesh on the back here. Perforation to the back of the knuckle. Like I said, you are getting that D3O knuckle in there, so you are getting that protection, but it doesn't feel overly, tight, or it doesn't feel like it pulls in an awkward way. Very comfortable from that standpoint with its relaxed fit. So if you're somebody that is shied away from protection in gloves because you don't want that big, aggressive Racer X kind of a look to it, definitely something a bit more subdued from a style standpoint. And then as you take a look, you are going to have the covered out seam on the pinky. Like I said, external stitching on the fingers, and then you are getting touchscreen technology at the thumb as well as the index, so you can zoom in and zoom out with one hand. And then just a single entry closure from a Velcro standpoint. The one note here is that it is a huge opening point. So they really are aimed at that V-twin audience, which typically shies away from more motorcycle focused, aggressive looking and feeling gloves. So very comfort oriented in its design. The only real nitpick here that I have for Merlin is I would love to have seen the palm done in potentially a goat skin in the future. But considering this is coming in at the $100 price point for a full leather glove, it will break in really nicely. Keep that in mind again when you're thinking about sizing. Because of the amount of leather in this, it will have a break-in period to it. If you are looking for something that's maybe a step up or a different style within Merlin's line, you can check out the Ranger D3O. That has a bit more of a wax cotton kind of a aesthetic to it. But for those of you looking for something V-twin, you're not looking for something aggressively sport inspired, but you are looking for that knuckle protection. Not a bad option from Merlin with the Shenstone. If I have to pick out some nitpicks here outside of the cowhide, maybe just a little bit of extra padding at the palm would have been nice, where you are getting this a little bit of an extra overlay right here. But for a new glove from Merlin, aimed at an audience which typically shies away from protection, I think they did a very good job of mixing together a classic style and aesthetic while adding in some modern day protection with that D3O knuckle at the back of the hand. For more information on this glove or to read other rider reviews, you can click the info button on your desktop or mobile device. That will take you over to the product page, and you can read what other folks are saying about the Shenstone. If you're still not sure as to which gloves are right for you and your riding style, you can always reach out to one of our customer service reps and they can walk you through all the different gloves available to make sure that you find the right glove for your riding style as well as your budget. I want to thank you for joining us for this look at the Merlin Shenstone D3O gloves. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.